And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
Yayo, it is Monday, March 31st. Wow, April is coming in hot and rainy here in Los Angeles right now. Your boy's back in LA, fresh off the plane from Austin, Texas. I'm there a few days, I'm here a few days, I'm there a few days. It's a lot. But when you're moving, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Sold both cribs out here. Things are popping. Went to Austin, last week? Went to Austin last week. Brian's there full time. I'm back and forth until the studio gets built. We signed on the new studio. That thing's getting worked on as we speak. And yeah, man, kiddos spent a day at their new school, kind of like a tryout, I guess. And Tiger, it's rare I see him. He doesn't get too nervous during baseball games, jiu-jitsu. I've never seen him so nervous. So then I was like, oh, God, I was so worried. So dropped him off and dropped Bossy. I'm not worried about. He makes friends anywhere he goes. But Tiger, right when he walked in class, she's like, oh, we're starting our morning off with singing these songs. And he's like, what? And I was like, yo, please don't sing Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. Please don't do that to your dad. That's the only song he knows word for word, which is not good. And I left him there. He's like staring at me like, oh, God, don't leave me. I'm like, see you later, dude. See you later. He was there from 8 to 3 o'clock. Bossy was only there till like 12:30. You know, he's young. But we picked Tiger up. He comes running out. He's like, Dad, it was awesome. This is my new friend, Tyler. I'm like, oh, thank God, dude. That's my biggest fear. I'll be fine. Me and my girl will be fine. We'll be fine. We could live anywhere. We're homebodies. But the kiddos, it's just when you're yanking them out of schools. My biggest fear now, the box I need to check is baseball. Because the closest friends I have in LA are the baseball dads. My son's closest friends are the teammates on his travel team. And leaving all that once the season ends here, end of May. So I got to there's so many programs out there. You just got to find the right one. A lot of them are just basically factories just collecting a check. They're not about development, the player and all that, which you don't want. Just cash grabs, you know. So travel ball is different than when we were kids. It's just a money play for a lot of these organizations. So you got to find the right one who actually cares about the kid, cares about them getting better. Not that winning should be the only thing that matters, but developing the kid is the number one thing. At this age, like, hey, y'all, none of you 9-year-olds are getting signed by the Dodgers. Just chill. It's all about getting better. So we'll see, man. That's what I'm dealing with. Bosty, once he found out there were bats in Austin, he would not pipe down about bats. I've shown him pictures of bats. I show him the one picture of the bat. I'm pretty sure it's doctored to that bat that's like the size of a human hanging upside down. The guy's next to it like this. Have you seen that? The bat, it's so big. It's bigger than Boston. Yeah, that one. I showed him that one. Is that real or I don't think so. The Philippines has human-sized bats. So I told Bossy those are in Austin. And he was fascinated but also terrified. I don't know if that's real. That one's clearly a guy in like a bat outfit. Well, it's come to see him was a discussion about human-sized bats. The large bats, like the golden crown flying fox, has wingspans up to 5.5 feet. Their bodies are not human-sized. All right.
Yeah, it's probably just the angle and all that stuff.
All right. So they're not that big, huh? And they only eat fruits, nectar, and pollen. Okay. I told Bosty they're vampire bats and they suck blood. Okay. All right. Well, I lied to him on accident. All right. I gotta check. I gotta Google more bat facts before. And then we go during the middle of the day, and the bats, they're snoozing, man. You can hear them, though, underneath the bridge, but they're snoozing. I had a great time, man. Great time out there. Great old time. As far as fight news, you had UFC Mexico, light years better than UFC London. Mexico said, hold our Corona, England. This is how it's done. The England crowd had no energy. The fighters had no energy. Terrible card. Terrible crowd, right? Which is unusual for London. Usually London's popping. Mexico said, hold our tortilla, check this out. And they blew the roof off that place. Much better fights, too. I didn't mind the main event. Poor Drew Dober, he's one of my faves. Our boy Raul Rosa Jr. got in some dicey situations, but he's only getting better. And there was so much hype on him. And I think, he coming at 18 off the Contender Series? Now he's 20. He's still so young. These type of fights, these type of situations, a little bit of the limelight coming off of him so he can just focus on getting better is exactly what this kid needs. He's going to be so damn good. He's so young, so talented. You just let him cook. Let him cook. Take the eyeballs off him right now. Let him cook, you know? Rest card was good. Solid. These fight nights that, it's just the UFC these days. Yeah, another one this week, another fight night this weekend where there's one or two fights. The number one fight I wanted to see got pulled from the card. Pfeiffer not fighting.
Oh, yeah, Gosselin.
Yeah. And he said, have you seen his Instagram? He's like, I'm never fighting Mexican. Dude, what did he get sick from the food? Did he say?
It just said sick. Let's see.
He probably chomped on some of that ice. Just want to say my heart is broken. I couldn't fight today. I got super sick. Hopefully we can reschedule the fight. Yeah, I bet they will. Unfortunately, come to the territory traveling outside the United States. Never again. My apologies. We'll be back. Yeah, maybe he had like a margarita. Maybe, some of that crushed ice. Yep, what do they call it? Guadalajara Revenge or where the fuck it is when you eat that ice in Mexico. Who knows, dude? I'm with him, though. Dude, stay in the States. Philly boy, stay in the States. But that was the number one fight I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And then with my group text chat with some UFC guys, when they told me it was off, I'm like, I could care less about this card now. Still watched it, but I could care less. Could care less, man. T also had a game on Saturday, so I missed the prelims. So I had to go back and watch the prelims. But I saw all of the main card. Because Tiger had a game, then Bossy had a game right after. So your boy was at the park all day. All day. T played well. It's rec ball, man. It's rec ball. And it is not travel ball. There are some kids that should not be swinging the bat, and their liability, and they can't even catch. They're going to get hurt. So, I took the innocent away from T when I signed him up for travel ball, which is good and bad. It's just a different level, man. It's just a different level, but it is what it is. He has a game tonight, but it's like slight rain here. It's LA, man. People are bitches. They'll probably cancel the game. It's like a light drizzle. Like, since when? Fucking baseball, dude. Colorado, we weren't like this, man. I don't get it. Slight drizzle. Even T goes, there's no way we have a game. Like, well, hold on. Let's see what happens. Light drizzle. Light drizzle, dude. But the fight night this weekend, who is it? Emmett?
Yep. Yes.
And all they're doing, and this is what they do. There's some fun fights on there, though. This one's not terrible. Again, we're getting accustomed to kind of these lackluster fight nights, right? The UFC is just kind of like, yeah, you're going to take it. And they're right. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm not going to say shit. I'll take it. Boy, if these fans that just became fans over the pandemic, if they knew what the UFC was before, you have no idea how good we had it. Oh, my God. When the UFC was actually trying, it was tasty. Oh, you missed it all. The Conor come up. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. My God. Now he's running for president of fucking Ireland and never fighting again. You know that. You meet Case, we're the big Conor lovers here. He's not fighting anymore.
Yeah, I was saying that after the Chandler fight was off.
Apparently he got offered to fight in Alcatraz, which take my fucking money. But he was like, nah, they didn't pay me my worth. I'm not doing it. He's like, I have another fight to fight, and it's running for president of Ireland. Everyone's like, he doesn't have a chance. You know what they're doing? Like, buddy, did you not learn from the Trump shit? You don't have to have a background in politics these days. Politics are not what you grew up with as a kid. It's not your dad's politics. Usually the most famous guy wins. Yeah, but he has this dark history. Did you not learn from Trump? He has some shit in his background too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People just want to change. You're not voting for him to marry your daughter. You're just voting on something different. That's all it is. No one gives a fuck. And they're going to run on that and try and smear his name. None of that works. They tried their best. None of it works. So for those of you who think he doesn't have a shot, boy, you're mistaken. Guarantee he has a shot. Now, I know in America, our view of Conor might be different than the view of him in Ireland. I don't know that landscape. But if you don't think he has a shot, you have another thing coming. It's Conor McGregor. I hope he wins.
Yeah. The other thing I realized in watching all the BKFC like post-fight stuff, and it seems like Conor doesn't need to fight, doesn't want to fight, whatever. But it seems like his new goal is like he wants to beat Dana White. Like that's his competition now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Which is a good North Star to have.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. Heavy lies the crown. Good fucking luck. You could do it though. You can tell that guy can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he wins. It'd be fascinating. Good luck, dude. I'd vote for him. The fight night this weekend, where are we at? At UFC Apex, of course. Josh Emmett, not mad at that. Murphy, they're good. That's the thing. They're good fights. They're better than anything else you're going to see. So the UFC has you by the nuts. It's better than anything, any other product you're going to see out there. I know it's not these big famous names. The casuals don't know. They're good fights, man. Overall, it's good fights. London sucked, but the fighters are good. The crowd just, wasn't into it. Shit happens. They're good fights. Brad Tavares, Gerald Meerschaert. All right, take my money. Mm-hmm. Davey Grant, take my money.
Fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, decent card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Decent card. Decent card. What else you got, Chin?
What did you think of the fights last week, especially Moreno versus Erceg?
Erceg is that guy who'll always be a top 5 guy, will never be champ. He just doesn't have that sense of urgency, almost that killer instinct. He's almost too cerebral. He's almost like Corey Sandhagen, where they're so cerebral. He just never went for broke. Like you could tell he was down minimum 3 rounds to 1, going in the 5th. You're like, okay, bud, like let's go out on your shield, and just never. There's certain guys, they just don't have that capability. Where if they're not winning by decision, they don't have the capability of finishing anybody. It's very similar to Strickland, right? Like if he gets behind on the scorecards, he's kind of screwed. Don't have knockout power. He's not going to submit you, but they usually get wins because they're banking rounds. They're banking rounds with their style. Their defense is great. Fundamentally they're super sound. Can't really take them down, but they're just not. They're not going to finish you with one shot.
Yeah.
Like if you think of like Derek Lewis, I know it's heavyweight, but it's like even that Volkov fight. You're like, yeah, he's losing, but if he just lands one, this thing's fucking over. Sure enough, dude was losing every second of that fight, except for the last 10 seconds. He's like, okay, wins the fight. You're not going to see that from these other guys. They just don't have the capability. It's just not in their DNA. It's just not what they do. Steve Erceg's fun to watch, but just that dog, that killer instinct to finish the fight's just not there.
And the UFC does believe in him. They put him on the top so many times.
He's so talented.
Yeah.
So talented.
But I guess that killer instinct, that's like a...
Corey Sandhagen's a little different because he does have that killer mentality where he can land a submission. He's so well-versed, and he can throw something unorthodox. But if they get behind on the rounds, it's tough for these guys to win. Like, he was out of that fight in the first 2 rounds. Like, we didn't need a 5-round fight. 3 rounds, it would have been the same result.
Another thing that happened was there's like a bunch of weird things. Like the Gaston Pfeiffer thing was off the card. That sucked. Also, Bruce Buffer, he rarely messes up, but he messed up on...
Did he?
Yeah. So
Which fight?
Jamal Emmers.
But he messed up. He messed up like 2 pay-per-views ago as well.
He's definitely messed up before, but it's very rare.
I know.
It's like less than a handful.
I know.
Or a handful at the most.
Yeah.
But let's see.
Announced the wrong winner.
Wrong winner. And it's actually, when you watch this, it's kind of funny too, but here we go.
Declaring the winner by TKO, Gabriel Moreno.
Just look at that
Jamal. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Jamal Emmers.
Jamal! They cut his mic off.
Jamal.
They cut his mic off.
So he did correct himself, but the mic was already cut off.
He's like, oh, Jamal, fuck.
I mean, it's got to happen once in a while. It's a tough to be.
Some dude said, bro, I was so sad. Why couldn't they let my dude Bruce correct himself?
Yeah.
Someone said, nah, them cutting his mic made it 10 times worse. Wow. Buff needs to retire. Get the fuck out of here.
No, yeah, what the frick? He's the best.
Yeah. I mean, at least it wasn't like a main event, you know?
Yeah,
You're
it wasn't
gonna do it.
It wasn't
on these,
prelims.
yeah.
But still, like
It's a fight night, baby.
like so. Me and Case were talking earlier too. Like, do you know how that thing works? Is it on his card? Like it says, "Boom, this guy won."
Yeah. He circles it.
So he just
You'll see
somehow-
him like he finds out before it and he circles it.
Oh, so it's in his
That's
ear
why
and he-
Dana goes to him first.
Okay.
Like that's why you see Dana's face on some fights. He's like, fuck. Like when Ann Clive won, you see him like, fuck.
Yeah, he was bummed.
Because he asked Bruce, and Bruce was like, Ann Clive. He's like, fuck.
Yeah, so we just circled the wrong name. No big deal.
Yeah, all good.
After so many times getting it right,
it's all good.
yeah,
Shit
once
happens.
in a while.
Shit happens. People get it wrong. Announcers in other sports get it wrong all the time.
What's that?
Announcers in other sports get it wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, he's on the biggest
I know
stage.
but he's
possible.
also known for not getting it wrong. So when he does, it's like, oh my god! Like that one announcer in basketball was like, "Big black dick." God damn it! Let's take a little break here. What does a mechanic, auto shop owner in Georgia, a taco restaurant operator in Arizona, and a life-saving medical innovator in Tennessee all have in common? Well, they're all small businesses, and they're thriving on TikTok. She Mechanic, AZ Taco King, and CPR Rap are just 3 of the 7.5 million businesses across the U.S. that are using TikTok to compete and grow. From family-run establishments to entrepreneurs, 74% of businesses on TikTok say the platform has allowed them to scale their operations, increase sales, and expand to new locations. And the growth means jobs. Today, millions of businesses on TikTok employ more than 28 million people and counting. Small businesses thrive on TikTok. Learn more about TikTok's contribution to the U.S. economy at tiktokeconomicimpact.com.
This also involves the same fighter, the guy that got the TKO win. This is his corner, and apparently the corner cam caught his coaches like arguing with each other right after the knockout.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll show you this real quick.
As you see the reaction from the Embers corner, Jake Benny, Chris Padilla, Chris Cullen.
Wait, and he won by knockout?
Yeah. So that's the one where they got the name wrong. Or
Damn.
Bruce Buffer. So the black dude knocked out the I guess he's Mexican, Miranda.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah. So he knocked him out. But then as soon as it was done, the coaches went off on each other. So the striking coach was yelling at the I guess the head coach, and I think they were listening to or like they're reading his mouth and it says like I told you so or something like that.
He's probably saying, keep it on the feet. Right,
Yeah, that's what
the
people are
hand's
thinking right
there.
now.
He's like, no, take him down, secure the win. And he threw the right hand, knocked him out. He's probably like, I fucking told you.
Yeah, but
That's all it is. Just emotional. I bet they're fine now.
So I want to ask you this: in your corner, have your coaches ever been like
Never.
barking at each other for
Never.
never?
No, never. No, it's rare.
So it's rare then.
Yeah, rare. Super rare. First round finish too. They might not just like each other either,
I mean, is there
like
like
a
a lot of
long-
ego with the coaches?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It must happen.
Big time, especially if it's striking, if it's going to the ground, jiu-jitsu, the conditioning coach, like they all want the credit. So when you win by submission, the jiu-jitsu coach is like, yeah. And by striking, he's all, yeah. It gets bad.
But this was just a more intense
Yeah.
confrontation.
And I think this one, he was like, take him down. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, he's lighting him up on the feet. He's like, no, take him down. He's like, no, stay. Throw the right, boom, fucking told you. And that he's just emotional. I bet they're cool now. Grown men. I bet they're fine.
Okay. This is a little update on Topuria. You know how like Islam Makhachev said he wouldn't, or Islam Makhachev's team said he would not like give him a chance at the belt. So Topuria says that he dropped the title because the UFC promised him that he would get a title shot.
Yeah, I told you guys this. Remember?
I don't. Yeah.
If you think Topuria is leaving 145 to go up to 55 and lose out on pay-per-view points, you're dumb. There's no way. He was called the UFC. He was like, hey, I'm thinking about dropping out. And they're like, all right, if you do, you can take a significant pay cut and you'll be fighting bigger, stronger guys, and you're not going to fight for a title. There's no way he'd be like, oh, I'll just keep cutting weight and making more money. There's no way. There's no way his team would allow him to do that. It's the fight business. It's prize fighting. Guarantee you the UFC was like, all right, if you go up, we guarantee you a title shot. Now, Makhachev can say whatever he wants. He doesn't call the shots. I know he's the champ. It doesn't matter. Makhachev's going up to, if Makhachev refuses to fight Topuria, that means Makhachev's just going up to 170. But Topuria's fight is going to be for the belt. whether Makhachev goes up, so it's for the vacant belt. But either way, he's either fighting Makhachev for the belt or he's fighting for the vacant belt. Period. There's no way he would just leave 45 and abandon the pay-per-view points, which are impossible to get, and take a huge, you're talking 7-figure pay cut just to go up to 55. Not possible. He's not that dumb.
Should we just open?
Let me let that
Yeah, let his ass in.
Yeah, I guess this is
Down. So he says the belt is at stake. It's at stake. That was the promise for me leaving the featherweight title. Hey, come on, Bubba, chill. Because come on, I could have done it another way. Like, I'm going to wait until they send a contract sign, then I'll vacate the title. Yeah. But always, everything they promise has been delivered. Yeah, guarantee it.
This has to be a money thing then, right? With Makhachev?
You wouldn't leave 45 and have pay-per-view points, and he's a pretty big pay-per-view star. You wouldn't leave that just to go to 55 just for the fuck of it and give up all that money. There's no way. There'd be no reason. Even the weight cut is miserable. He wants money. The money's in pay-per-view points. Like, the fuck you money is in pay-per-view points. So when people cry, there's a lot of people out there, the UFC might not sign certain fighters. Like the guy Alex Pereira lost to in Glory, the UFC didn't sign him.
Yeah.
Or Dembois, he didn't find Dubois.
The boxer? Or what do you mean?
The kickboxer. They didn't sign him, I think that's his name.
I don't know.
I forget his name. But those high-level guys that they're not signing, the UFC's doing it because, A, they don't have to. It's just it's not 10 years ago. They don't have to do it. B, the UFC's whole thing is to start out, we're going to pay you 20 and 20 or 40 and 40, 50 and 50. Once you earn your keep, you have the potential to make life-changing money. So the reason you're going to sign with the UFC and make less money than from Ryzen or One Championship or wherever you're coming from is because the potential to make millions is in the UFC. The UFC is never going to sign a guy coming over from any organization and pay him top dollar what he's worth off the bat. Because in all honesty, what you did previously at these other organizations doesn't mean shit unless you're in the UFC. It just doesn't. I know, 2-time world champ here and this. Cool. D. Ritter's making less money coming over to the UFC. But the potential to become a global megastar is only in the UFC. So UFC's going, yeah, we'll start you off at 20 and 20, 40 and 40, 60 and 60. Win those 3 fights and we're cooking. And then once you are of value to us and we can market you, then we'll pay you your worth. But you have to prove your worth because we have a ton of guys. We have more guys than we need. So everyone's like, oh, I can't believe it. They're different. They're not signing these guys. Yeah, because UFC's going, no, we're not going to match the money you're making over in Ryzen or whatever the fuck it is. Prove your worth, and then you have the potential to make life-changing money. You can't get that anywhere else. So everyone crying, oh, they're not signing these big prospects. No, that's not their business model. Figure it out. It's not their business model. Their business model is, sure, you're a big deal over there, but you're not in the UFC. We have the best of the best. Come over here, you can get thrown some there's no warm-ups. You can get thrown some dogs. We're not going to pay you $1 million out front, and you come in here and lose to a guy nobody's ever heard of because you can't grapple. You have a hole in your game. And like the UFC not signing that guy that beat Alex Pierre in Glory, we don't know about his wrestling. We don't know. We really don't know about his grappling. So UFC's like, no, we're not going to invest $1 million in that guy and comes over and gets fucking eaten alive. Prove that you can get by some names that we have here, which can be tough, and then we'll pay you your worth. That's just the way it goes. Do I agree with it? No. I think guys should be taken care of, but that's their model. So it's not that they don't want these guys, but they don't need these guys. So they're going, yeah, we'd love to have you. It's 40 and 40 off the jump, or 20 and 20 even off the jump. But I was making 6 figures at PFL. Cool, it's PFL. You were the biggest star in PFL. You come here, you ain't shit until you prove it. When you prove it, now you're going Sizzler. Until you prove it, you're just another guy. That's their business model. What else you got?
Oh, and
so my whole point of that weird rant of not signing guys that you think they should sign is Topuria has pay-per-view points. It's impossible to get. It's so hard to get, and it's hard to get back once you've had it. So for him to leave 45, making millions, 7 figures, to go to 55 and take a huge pay cut, it's just not realistic. I guarantee you the UFC brass told his management he can vacate 45 and we can guarantee he'll fight at 55 for a belt. Guarantee it. Whether it's Makhachev or not, guarantee he fights for the belt.
Mm-hmm. And I think they did mention how like they're waiting because Makhachev wants to go up to 170, so they have to wait for Bilal. And who was it again?
JDM.
Yeah, JDM. So waiting for that. So that's probably like the thing that's going on.
Here's how it goes. Makhachev told the UFC, I'm going to 170. UFC calls Topuria, he goes, hey, Makhachev's going up. If you're going to vacate, now would be the time, and you're going to fight for the belt, we promise you. And he goes, say less. The cut's been terrible. We'll do it. So Makhachev been like, I don't want to fight him. It doesn't matter. He's going to 170. As soon as Topuria announced this, he's going to Makhachev's like, see ya, I'm out. Those two happen at the exact same time. Makhachev calls, cool, click. Topuria, you want to fight at 55 for the belt? Cool, click. That's how it goes.
There you go. And that kickboxer, Cedric Duwombe, that guy from PFL. All right, so Terence Crawford was on, I believe it was Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo's podcast, and they're talking about the pay, right? The pay differential between MMA and boxing, and this is what he says.
Boxers get paid more than MMA. It's no comparison.
At the top?
No.
At the top?
As a whole. For instance, you'll see a guy headlining at the Spear. They probably be getting a couple of $1 million. But you'll see a guy on the undercard of a big show probably making more money than that guy.
Which guy?
Guys.
We don't want to open up the books now. We don't open up the books. You're right. I do agree. At your level right now.
Not me. I'm saying on the undercard. Because y'all do 1-on-1. You show up, you get 50,000. You win, you get another 50,000. You get the knockout of the year, you get another 25,000.
You knock out a year, you know, 25.
In the UFC, you might be making 10 and 10. You go out there and win, you $20,000.
Right.
To where there's boxers that maybe 7, 8, 10 and 0. Hey, you want to fight this fight? All right, 2,500. That's all I mean.
Okay, so let me break it down to you.
Right.
UFC, that's like the top of the top. So we talking about the big stage. So once you make it to the UFC, you in the big leagues now. When I make it to the big leagues, when I'm on TV, I'm making more than you making when you come into the UFC.
There's one thing that we can't say about the UFC. There's no running. Bro. You know what I'm saying? How long did you have to go out there and literally chase a guy like Errol Spence before you made it happen? 5 years. How long did Floyd Mayweather had to fight Manny Pacquiao? 7 years. In the UFC, Dana White's like, you know what? You don't want to fight? Give me your belt. There's also a pride to be able to say that I'm also fighting the best competition at the right time.
So pause it. So Cejudo is actually arguing that the UFC fighters should be paid more. That's the point. It's actually harder in the UFC than it is boxing coming up. UFC like guys you've never heard of are 20-0, 25-0, 30-0. They're fighting cans. That's the boxing model. And they don't really get their first tough test till they're 32-0, 34-0, 40-0. In the UFC, bro, you get to the UFC off the Contender Series. I can't emphasize this enough. It's different than when I fought. There are no easy fights. None of them are easy. None of them are easy. Even if you're a minus 600 favorite, dude, shit happens. There's too many ways to lose. So Cejudo's actually arguing that the UFC fighters should be paid more. And here's what I've always said, and I was wrong. I've always said UFC in general, because people always talk about pay, all the time about pay and how fighters don't get paid and boxers make so much more. And I used to say, on average, UFC fighters make more than boxers, saying like the prelim stuff but they actually don't. They don't. The overall average of money that boxers made, even on not on the main card, is more than the UFC. I was wrong. Terence Crawford's right. And then when you talk about like Terence Crawford pound for pound number one, who's pound for pound number one in the UFC? Is it who's number one now? Makhachev? It's Makhachev. So yeah, Makhachev, John Jones, Topuria, Merab, DDP. Islam, John Jones, Ilia, Merab, and DDP together don't make as much money as Canelo or Terence Crawford. You could combine all of their salaries that they make on their next fights, and it won't equal as much as a Terence Crawford or a Canelo make. Now, the argument used to be, well, the UFC spreads, the cards are so stacked, like UFC 300 or UFC 121 or 128. Like, you go back through those cards and they're stacked. It's like, yeah, they can't pay, because for boxing, you're really only paying for one fight. Let's be honest. You don't give a fuck about the undercard. You don't know who they are. The UFC, from the prelims up back in the day, used to know everybody, and it was big names, casuals, even knew. So that did kind of extend the pay so one guy wasn't taking the bulk share. And there was an argument for that. But now the cards aren't like that. Now the UFC is kind of going towards a boxing model, but they're paying the same. That's fucked up. Before, you're like, all right, yeah. No, that's fine if the guy at the main event makes less because the rest of the card's stacked. I know 10 of these fighters. This is dope. I'll take that. But now it's like, for the casuals, they know maybe the main event sometimes, especially these fight nights. But even the pay-per-views lately, you might know one or two fights. The rest, it's very similar to boxing. But you're paying the same. You know you fucked up, right? It's not good. And the UFC views would show that. Fans are going, I'm not paying for this. It's not good.
All right. Speaking of pay, Don Davis, president of PFL, said, because there was rumors that John Jones was asking for like something like 30 to 50 million for
when boxing
the next
money.
fight.
Yeah.
Don Davis said this.
Don Davis might as well say, hey, John Jones, I can help you fucking fly to China with wings. I'll pay you $50 million.
Yeah.
Like,
so he's saying,
Yeah. Every other organization outside the UFC should have made this offer. He could say, hey, John Jones, I know a way to pay you $100 billion. Come fight in the PFL. He's under contract. Irrelevant. Don Davis just another sport. And the dummies be like, yeah, here we go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But so for the audio listeners, he was saying he's saying that he would pay him $50 million to
he
fight
won't though.
Ngannou.
He won't. Yeah. He could have put $100 billion on there. He knows it's never going to happen, and he can't pay him $50 million. PFL, they're going out of business. I know one way Johnny Bones earns $50 million. Francis Ngannou to decide the true MMA heavyweight champion, the real pound for pound and one. That would be the fight of the decade for MMA fans. Gay.
Insinuating. That's what I was looking for. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. Let's take a little break here, kids. This episode of the Schaub Show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You choose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice, some would say. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies, so you save time on research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. Progressive. Let's get back to the program.
All right. Check out this video from Colby Covington and Submission Radio.
So hold on. It says Colby Covington absolutely goes in on Paul Felder and sends him a warning. Okay, let's go.
Paul Felder keeps running his mouth from the commentary booth. He's going to get slapped as well. That's so self-loathing.
What's going on? What's going on with Paul Felder, man? What's happening?
Dude, he was talking shit about me. He was saying some shit that, oh, he's done this and that and some other shit. Hey, Dennis, I want you to go ask him next time you see him in person. Ask him about the time we were at Joint Base Langley, Eustis, the Army and Air Force Base, and he got tied fucking in handcuffs by the military police to a toilet in his bathroom because he was drunk on the base. Like, that's embarrassing, you self-loathing drunk asshole. He must be drunk half the time he's in that commentary booth for the UFC. Man, I feel bad for the UFC. They need to get some new commentators. And what better, man? I could be the UFC commentator.
Next time you see him, you might have a word with him.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to have a word. You know, like, I kept that story close to my heart for a long time, and I was never going to share it. But when you start trying to trash my name in the media and say things about me, what the fuck is a Paul Felder? What the fuck has Paul Felder done? Dennis, I make more money outside the UFC than that guy's made in his whole entire life. Like, the guy's an absolute bum. He's never done anything in the sport. He has no reason to talk shit, especially when he's never been in a main event in his life. The guy's a bum. He's gotten beaten up by everybody. He's literally been a punching bag in the UFC, and he's a self-loathing, drunk asshole. So who gets tied to a freaking porcelain toilet on a military base? You're supposed to be there respecting the troops, respecting the military. But no, you're there being a fucking drunk asshole. Ask Paul Felder about that story. That's a true story. You know?
So...
Apparently, yeah. Paul Felder's manager came out and was like, he was drunk, but he never got tied to a toilet. You're like, yeesh.
Even if he did.
Yeah, I mean.
If I had a nickel for every time I've been handcuffed to a toilet at a military base because I was hammered.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
It's so funny how they said, like, he wasn't handcuffed, but he was...
Let me see what the manager said. Paul Felder's dope. He's a good commentator, too.
Yeah.
Colby, better fighter than Paul Felder. Overall, like, career, fought in main events, you know, like... Colby in his prime was a fucking monster. Paul Felder's good, but not to the level. To his point, he's never main event, but Paul Felder's fucking good. But maybe Paul Felder won't have the career Colby had, but Colby could never commentate like Paul Felder.
Oh, no,
That's
Paul
the
Felder's
difference.
amazing.
Paul Felder's good. So this is his manager. Paul Felder's manager, Brian Butler, fact-checked the story. There's never any military police. He was never tied to a toilet. He was never trying to start a fight with me. We had just gotten done with a long day of hanging with the troops and doing things. And we were sitting in the hotel lobby with a few people that we were with all day. We were drinking whiskey and we were there all night. That means he was drunk. After some ribbing from Butler about his weight, Felder stormed off the bed. Butler would then get a drunk call from the retired fighter saying, "My hotel room is broken." Butler and Covington went to investigate and found water coming out from under Felder's door.
And then it continues here.
I'm like, "Paul, man, what the hell happened to your room?" He's like, "I slammed the lid and the toilet broke." Who knows what happened? I'm like, no. I'm like, "Listen, we got to get out of here and let's clean this up, get you another room, get you out of here." And he wasn't looking at me. We could tell he had a lot of whiskey in him, and he was looking through me. And in my head, there's a slight chance if he pressed too hard, he's going to swing on me. I knew probably not, but the cool thing was Colby's right there, right behind my back. I'm standing there just quiet. And I'm like, see, good on Colby. He's here to get my back just in case nothing happened. And then Paul was like, all right. He grumbled and we cleaned up the room and they moved into another room. And that was it. All right, well, it sounds like Colby might have been telling the truth. Yeah, so he broke the toilet because he'd taken a piss and slammed it too hard. It's like, all right, well. But even if Colby did, even if Felder did, oh, whatever, man. Be a good fight for both of them.
Yeah, I think that's a good fight too. You already mentioned this guy, Alex Pereira's rival that beat him before.
Artem. That's what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, can't believe UFC didn't sign him. Again, UFC doesn't need anybody. The way the whole organization's set up, they're not going to offer you the same as you're getting paid in whatever organization you're in. Until you prove yourself, you have the potential to make life-changing money. That's why you signed with the UFC. Kayla Harrison did that. She took a pay cut coming from PFL because being PFL champion ain't shit. No one gives a fuck. Walking down the street, like, no one's saying, oh, there's the world champion Kayla Harrison. No. Now she wins this UFC belt in a few months here. That's a big difference. Sponsorship, everything, big difference. Viewership, big difference. So UFC's like, no. You have the potential here. Yeah. We're not going to pay you out the gate. Prove yourself, and we'll pay you. It's just their model. I'm not saying it's right, but that's their model.
Yeah, so they didn't come to terms on that agreement. So, and
not even close.
Now he's fighting Rico Verhoeven, which we talked about before. Rico Verhoeven's fighting
Glory,
or in talks with Ngannou, but whatever. Yeah. All right, and remember this guy Muhammad Makayev that apparently is like a
we're seeing UFC let him back.
He's gonna be fighting Karate Combat, and he's known more as like a grappler kind of guy. But I guess in the very very beginning of his, you can see his old picture when he was a kid. He started in karate, but he's more of like a grappling.
Yeah, he's a damn good grappler.
Yeah.
Well, at least he found somewhat of a home. Hopefully, he eventually.
His record is insane too. Like,
he's a monster.
Yeah.
I wish the UFC let him fight.
Yeah. I didn't read this article yet, but do you have more details on Cain Velasquez?
So he's getting time served. So they gave him, I think, 5 years, but he got time served. So he gets out in January. And the MMA social media is like, free Cain. I get all that. And the judge had tears in his eyes when he was giving the sentence. He also gave him the lightest sentence. So It's a tough one, right? Because I think anyone that has kids, like, you can understand how Cain went into a rage, right? You can understand
temporary insanity, without a doubt.
Temporary insanity, but I think he drove. It's over 10 miles shooting. There was kids in school, so the threat of hitting an innocent bystander is really what he's going away for, firing those shots. But again, temporary insanity. I always stood by the fact where, God forbid, this never happens to my children, but I just, the gun would be if I had Cain's skills, even with my skill level, a gun's not, like, I don't want to shoot the guy. Yeah. I want to do it with my hand so I can see his fucking face. Like, my whole thing would be like, oh, I'm going to recreate that scene from fucking Game of Thrones where the mountain takes his fingers and crushes his face in. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to inflict pain. Shot's too easy. Shooting's too easy. That's not what we do. That's not what Cain should have done. Yeah. Like, Cain's going to beat up 99.999% of the earth. Dude, fuck a gun, dude. And then you're dealing with all this. Like, just track him down in your truck. You could have bashed his car and pulled him out and then just beat him to an inch of his life, and you're not serving this, Let's see. This is Javier. To be honest with you, because I wouldn't be able to think clearly, I would have done worse. Agree. Because I would have been of clear mind. I would have made that guy look at my face when yep. I would have done worse. I'm not going to sit here and say I would have done the same thing that he did. No. I would have thought it out properly. I would have done it and would have found a way where no one could figure it out it was me. I mean, they're going to figure it out, Javier, but yeah. I would have done it. I would have done it while he looked at me for what he did to my child. Agree. I would have had him look at me while I punish him. That's what I'm saying. All the UFC alumni has a special set of skills. So they're asking like, yeah, but you lost to this guy and you got out. Get all that. 99% of the earth does not have those skills. You know what Cain would have done to that man and his fucking whack ass dad if he would have got his hands on him? That's what I want for him. So the judge should have been like, yeah, no time served. And the discipline for that pedophile that molested your kid over 100 times, little boy, changed his life forever. Changed the trajectory of his life forever. That kid's scarred for life. Okay. Well, now your penalty is you have to spend 30 minutes in a room alone with Cain Velasquez, you and your father. And whatever happens in there, happens. I'd say, Cain, don't kill anybody. You kill somebody, we're talking about a different penalty. But do what you need to do. That's how this should have ended. Yeah, you touch our child and we're going to do whatever we can to make sure you never touch another child. 100%. Yep. Yeah, so the whole narrative, Cain's thriving. Prison sucks, and even the judge was crying when he gave him the penalty because I'm taking a father away from his child who's gone through a horrible, horrible situation. So that's why the judge had tears in his eyes. But he gave him the lightest sentence. It could have been a lot more. Remember, we're in California, so it could have been a lot worse. My biggest takeaway is well, what happens to the molester and the whole daycare that the mom owned, all that? Like, what's up with that? For Cain to be fine. Fuck with Cain in prison. Let me know how it goes for you. Cain to be fine. He gets out in January. He has something special waiting for him. That's a whole nother thing I can't talk about. But the pedophile who molested the kid, let's focus on that. Cain's going to be fine. All right, served his time out in January. Not terrible, wish it was nothing, but I get it. Because, shooting out in the open, all right, fine. But the pedophile, the father and the mother that knew this shit was going on, what the fuck are we going to do about them? That's what our focus, free Cain, all that, he's not getting free before January. He gets out in January, let's sit on that. That's done. Your focus should be, what the fuck are we going to do with the molester and the entire family that condoned this? What is up with that? What's his penalty? Because if it's under fucking life, if it's under 50 years, we got a problem. Remember, it's California. So more likely than not, nothing's going to fucking happen. They'll probably give him 10. He'll be out in fucking 3. And does this to another child. And it could be your child. So when the focus for the MMA community is free Cain, I'm with you. I support Cain 100%. I wish he could get his hands on this guy. You're channeling the wrong energy. The energy should be, what the fuck are we going to do about the molester and the family that condoned this and what other kids were touched? Because I highly doubt he just touched Cain Velasquez's kid. There's a special place in hell for that guy. That's what we should focus on. And if the courtroom's not going to do justice, the public should. That's the way this should go. Oh, we can't have a nation like that. No, we can't do eye for an eye. Why fucking not? He touched a kid, that kid's changed forever. That guy deserves to suffer more than anybody. Cain shouldn't be suffering and his child shouldn't be suffering. That royal piece of shit should be dealt with. And prison isn't good enough. So what are we going to do? What are y'all going to do? It's California. They give leniency on these fucking child molesters. They might send him 20 years and you go, okay, he's gone for 20. He'll be out in 3, maybe 2. What are we going to do? Oh, is that a threat? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You tell me that's justice? That motherfucker? And here's the thing. They know in prison, child molesters can't be with the general population because even the worst of the worst inhumans that are in prison for real shit don't condone the touching of children. So he can't be in Gen Pop because he'll get dealt with. So we protect them. Your tax-paying dollars protects them. He won't be in General Pop. He'll be with other child molesters. Because if it goes in general population, even with criminals, have a standard. And your tax dollars are protecting him even in prison. So what are we going to do? How are we going to make this right? That guy shouldn't be walking the earth. His father should not be walking the earth. His mother that condoned this should not be walking the earth. All of them should be in prison for life, but they're not going to. So this whole free Cain energy, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. That's done with. He'll get out in January. Cain will be free, and his life will be okay. But what that man did to his child, the energy should be on that. What are we going to do with that soulless motherfucker? If it works out the way it should, fuck protection. No. Those guys should be terrified to go to prison. They should be terrified to get shanked, to get raped. That's how this should go. You touch kids, you go into General Pop. Whatever happens to you there fucking happens. You weren't protecting these children. It's crazy. Someone will get them. Guarantee it. You know how beloved Cain is? Someone will get him.
I mean, and the molestation, yeah. What are
also, you molest my kid 100 times? Oh, buddy. Just because I get out in January, this doesn't stop. Oh, no. I'm like fucking Batman. You killed my mother and father. I'm never stopping. What else you got?
It got very dark.
This is a dark situation. What are you supposed to do? Make light of him?
I know.
Fuck that guy.
Definitely fuck that guy. All right, a little lighter note. Bellator and Ryan Bader have parted ways. It's so weird as this Bellator champion, Ryan Bader, parts ways with PFL because, they're still together, whatever. But yeah, so he's a free agent now.
PFL owns Bellator. Bellator is to the wayside.
But still.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Free agent. That's cool. Would you want him back in the UFC? You think he's
GFL?
Oh, GFL. Oh yeah. Here's a random one: the Smashing Machine movie that The Rock is playing in. Apparently, the early review, the people that saw it, the actual film, they're saying it's kind of it's not wonderful.
Yeah,
it's
but
it's opposite
are
ways.
Are they MMA fans?
No,
the same director as Snow White.
But this is one reviewer his name is Ruiny.
So a month ago, the Smash Machine screened for a lucky few. I kept quiet about it. However, it's now screened again, and judging by what I've heard, there's zero doubt in my mind that people are not ready for this type of film in store. With the Mark Kerr stuff, he had a fascinating life. I'm not going to listen to reviews. I'm still going to check it out. I don't care. Let's take a little break and we'll get right back in the episode because this episode of the Schaub Show is brought to you by Sure Shot, the world's first alcohol detoxifier that reduces blood alcohol content in as little as 30 freaking minutes. This isn't snake oil. This is the real deal. When you take some Sure Shot, you get a sharper mind and body, liver support, well-being boost, gut support, hydration. Just go to SureShot.com, use promo code Brendan, get 10% off, or go to your local Bevmo. You got the TikTok shop, Amazon shop. It's everywhere. Pick up a 4-pack. You and the boys have some drinks. Watch the UFC Fight Night at the Apex this Saturday. If you got baseball in the morning, trust me, have those drinks. You'll feel okay. SureShot.com, promo code Brendan. You're welcome. Let's get back to the program.
Okay, so this is a quick one. Jorge Masvidal says that in his return to the UFC to fight, he would like Leon Edwards. What do you think of that fight?
Great fight.
Right?
Hell yeah.
For both of them, right?
Oh, fuck yeah. It's a great fight. That's exactly what Leon should do next.
Alrighty. This I thought was kind of interesting. So
headline says, husband cheats on UFC fighter before groundbreaking pay-per-view event, corners her anyway. Mm-hmm. In quotes, there was no time to change. Let me see.
Yeah, so she found out that her husband was cheating on her like a week before her fight against Irene Aldana. And this is Norma Dumont, I believe, right?
Scroll up. Mm-hmm. So it says, what happened was I found out a little before the fight that he was cheating on me. Like the day of the fight?
Oh, it says just 3 weeks before.
Okay. So we went through the whole thing and got a divorce. It was before the fight. Matter of fact, about 3 weeks before the fight, there was a 14-year marriage. He was always my coach the entire time, but the fight was there. There was no time to change corners. There would be no time to adapt to somebody new. We don't want to speak about it before the fight because we didn't want to overshadow the fight. Fight was really what was important. Damn, what mental strength to know that's going on. Like, well, let's just deal with it after.
It's got to suck balls.
Gangster.
Yeah.
I need to fight. I think the fighter needs to fight, right? We've been talking about this point with the organization for a while. Come from a complicated situation. 5 victories was tough to get a belt fight here. Yeah, good for her, man. She's a little beast too. Winner of 5 straight.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dumont. Yeah, that's awkward. Good for her.
Yeah, definitely. She wants
More power to her.
Where should we go? Oh, so this is So fans are angry about Jack Della Maddalena because there's like a
GoFundMe
hub. It's right here. Here it is. Let me go to the top.
Come
here.
have a beer with Jack 1 week to book tickets. Perth UFC fans will have an amazing night planned for our local legend Jack. Jack will be fighting the UFC Welterweight Championship in Montreal. He's having a fundraiser dinner on Monday. There will be a Q&A session, longtime coach. Tickets will be $150, $250. VIP experience will include meet and greet, photo, signed poster.
Q&A.
Okay. All profits from tickets go towards getting the full team out to Montreal to support Jack and his mission, UFC Gold.
So basically, people are criticizing him for doing trying to raise money for his team and him to go out instead of him paying for it all himself. You know what I'm saying?
This is where the UFC's at, you know? But then also, they go on to say, believe it or not, the UFC does not pay for anyone or anything. Well, so they just contradict themselves. They don't pay for anyone or anything but 6 nights of accommodation, flights for 2. Yeah, Australia to Montreal is not cheap. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, if he becomes champ, they'll pay for 3. So if he wins this fight, they pay for 3. Mm-hmm. But they pay for 2 coaches. That's all you really need. But if he wants to bring the whole team, yeah, you're looking at flights from Australia to Montreal. You're looking at a few $1,000.
But I mean, how do you feel about them? Like, honestly, if he's offering like, you know, Q&A, signed stuff and all, I don't mind that at all. But I've seen people do GoFundMes, right? Even like popular fighters that do GoFundMes for certain things that are going on in their life, and they're not like rock bottom. So that one to me is kind of
It's a little weird.
Yeah, a little weird. But this one, I'm not. Yeah, it's not a big.
It's
deal
like
to
when
me.
Alyssa Milano was like started a GoFund for a travel ball team who we do play.
Yes, but I'm saying,
and you're like, hey, you've been on TV for 40 years. Cover it though. Yeah. That's different. Like she's set, bitch. Don't do a GoFundMe. For Jack, he's like, man, I'd like these 2 other coaches there. They're probably like, hey, what are we gonna do? They only covered 2 flights and 6 nights in a hotel room, which is so much money. What are we gonna do? And he was like, well, look into it. And they're like, hey, man, it's $6,000 to get us out there plus hotel. And Jack's like, I'm not paying $6,000. And one of his coaches was like, well, we could do like a benefit. That's all it is. And if they can raise the money, more power to them. Who gives a fuck? Now, if this was John Jones or GSP or Khabib or Izzy or Alex, you're like, hold up, dude. But JDM, he's not making life-changing money right now. He has the potential to, if he wins this fight, to cover 3 fights. That's all it is. I don't have a problem with it.
No, and plus he's offering services. It's not like he's asking for money for nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. How about we cap it off with this? The GFL fight.
GFL going down in LA. Your boy will be working it as a commentator. It is Saturday, May 24th and 25th. It's 2 nights, 2 different cards, Saturday, Sunday. Your main event on Saturday, you have Henan Barao versus Uriah Faber. Take my money. Holly Holmes is on there. Sage Northcutt, Aspen Ladd. You had some good fights, man. Pettis, Henderson. Ray Borg, Marlon Moraes, Todd Duffy, shout out Todd Duffy, Charles Rosa, Gleason Tybau. It's fun fights. And Sunday's actually my favorite card because you have Dylan Dennis, Tony Ferguson, Alex Gustafsson, Paige Van Zandt. You got some fun fights, man. That's all going down, dude. It'd be a fun card. You boys gonna come if I get you tickets?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Douglas Lima, Uriah Hall. Come on now. I know there's some haters out there. Come on now. You're telling me you're not gonna pay to watch Dylan Dennis, Tony Ferguson, Douglas Lima, Uriah Hall, Alex Gustafsson? Come on now. It's a fun card, man. Is that it, Chin?
That's it. And we kind of covered the fight.
You got a fight night. Josh Emmett, Leron Murphy. It's a fun fight. Brad Tavares, Jordan Marchart. Take my money. Is that it?
That's it.
All right, kids. But next Saturday, you have UFC 314. So they're just edging you with these kind of shitty fight nights at the Apex in Mexico and London to get to UFC 314 in Miami. And that one is what we're accustomed to. That one is stacked to the fucking gills. Can't wait. UFC 314 is next freaking Saturday. Can't wait. All right, kids. That's it. Love you. Like, subscribe, do all things. Till next time, I'm out.